Welcome students. I hope you are doing good. In this presentation, I will be explaining Chapter 7, Part 3, Study of Continents Europe. So let's begin. My dear students, in Part 1 and Part 2, I have covered the introduction, location, European countries, and the Northwestern Highlands, the physical unit of Europe. Now, in this video, I am going to explain the other three parts of the land. That is, the central lowlands, the central uplands, and the alpine mountains. The second physical unit of Europe is the central lowlands. The central lowlands, sometimes called the Midland Valley or Central Valley, is a geologically defined area of relatively low-lying land in southern Scotland. More than half of Europe consists of lowlands. The central lowlands extend from the Ural Mountains in the east to the Atlantic coast in the west, and also include the southern part of Britain. These lowlands are broadest in the east and taper towards the west. The lowlands consist of vast fertile plains formed by the deposition of materials by rivers, glaciers, and wind. In some places, hills have been eroded into basins like the London and Paris basins. Many large rivers drain this region. The Rhine and Seine fall into the North Sea and the English Channel respectively. The Elbe, Oder, and the Vistula flow generally in the northward direction. While the Elbe drains into the North Sea, the Oder and Vistula drain into the Baltic Sea. The Dnieper and the Don flow over the southern part of the plains and fall into the Black Sea. The Volga, flowing into the Caspian Sea, is the longest river of Europe. The river Volga flows through central Russia to southern Russia and into the Caspian Sea. It has a length of 3,531 kilometers. It is also Europe's largest river in terms of discharge and drainage basin. It is widely regarded as the national river of Russia. The northern part of the lowlands has a large number of lakes formed by the action of glaciers. My dear students, now from the picture itself you can see the Lake Ladoga in Russia is the largest lake of all. Lake Ladoga is a freshwater lake located in the Republic of Karelia and Leningrad Oblast in northwestern Russia, in the vicinity of St. Petersburg. It is the largest lake located entirely in Europe, the second largest lake after Baikal in Russia, and the 14th largest freshwater lake by area in the world. There are thousands of lakes in Finland also. Now students, let's talk about the other parts of the regions of the central lowlands. The northernmost part of Europe bordering the Arctic Ocean is a cold desert. Here, the ground remains frozen for most of the year. The vegetation consists mostly of mosses and lichens, and a variety of grasses and small flowering plants grow during the short summer. Such vast treeless lands found in very cold regions are called tundra. From the picture itself you can see this land is totally treeless. It is mostly of mosses and lichens, and it has some varieties of grasses also. So any land which is treeless and which has a very cold temperature are called as tundra. South of the tundra lies a region of coniferous forest that are called as taiga. It has trees such as pine, spruce and fir. This region, covering parts of Scandinavia and Russia, is the most extensive forest zone in Europe. The taiga is a forest of a cold subarctic region. The subarctic is an area of the northern hemisphere that lies just south of the Arctic Circle. The taiga lies between the tundra to the north and the temperate forest to the south. Alaska, Canada, Scandinavia and Siberia have taigas. Most of the southeastern Europe is an area of temperate grassland, which extends from Europe into Asia. These grasslands are known as the steppe. A steppe is a dry, grassy plain. Steppes occur in temperate climates which lie between the tropics and polar regions. Temperate regions have distinct seasonal temperature changes with cold winters and warm summers. Steppes are semi-arid, meaning they receive 25 to 50 centimeters of rain each year. Dear students, now let's begin with the third physical unit, that is the central uplands. The central uplands extend east-west across Central Europe and include western France and Belgium, southern Germany and Czech Republic, and parts of northern Switzerland and Australia. The central uplands are lower in altitude and less rugged than the alpine region and are heavily wooded. To the south of the central lowlands lie some old eroded plateaus and mountains. These include the plateau Meseta Central in Spain, Massif Central in France and Bohemian Massif in the Czech Republic and the mountains in central and southern Germany. Two major rivers flow in this area of low altitude mountains and plateaus. The Rhine flows northwards while the Rhone flows southwards. The Rhine River is one of the major European rivers which has its sources in Switzerland and flows in a mostly northerly direction through Germany and the Netherlands, emptying into the North Sea. And the Rhone River, on the other hand, is also one of the major rivers of Europe and has twice average discharge of the Loire rising in the Rhone Glacier in the Swiss Alps at the far eastern of the Swiss canton of Valais, passing through Lake Geneva and running through southeastern France. The Rhine Valley in this region is a rift valley. It lies between two ranges of block mountains, the Vosges in France and the Black Forest in Germany. The Danube, the second longest river of Europe, originates in the Black Forest mountain. As my dear students, I have explained about the river Danube in part 1. Let me explain you again. It is also the second longest river after the Volga. It is located in Central and Eastern Europe. For more information on this Danube river, you please check out part 1 of chapter 7. The last and the fourth physical unit of Europe is the Alpine Mountains. The Alpine Mountains are the highest and most extensive mountain range system that lies entirely in Europe and stretches approximately 1200 kilometers across 8 alpine countries from west to east, that is, France, Switzerland, Monaco, Italy, Liechtenstein, Austria, Germany, and Slovenia. In the south of Europe lies the alpine system of mountains. It consists of a series of rugged young-fold mountains. These mountains run in general east to west direction, from the Atlantic Ocean in the west to the Caspian Sea in the east, as they contain Europe's highest elevations. From west to east, these mountain ranges include the Sierra Nevada, Cantabrian Mountains, Pyrenees, Alps, Apennines, Dinaric Alps, Carpathians, Balkan Mountains, and the Caucasus. The Alps are the most extensive of these mountains. Mont Blanc, 4,807 meters, is the highest peak of the Alps. It is the second highest and second most prominent mountain in Europe after Mount Elbrus, and it is the 11th most prominent mountain summit in the world. Mount Elbrus, 5,642 meters, the highest mountain of Europe, is a volcanic mountain in the Caucasus. It is the highest stratovolcano in Eurasia and the 10th most prominent peak in the world. At places, materials deposited by rivers which have created large plains between the mountains in southern Europe. These plains surrounded by mountains are called intermontane plains. It is the largest mountain-free landform in Europe, although a number of highlands are identified within it. The plains of Lombardy in Italy, the Great Hungarian Plain, and the plains of Wallachia in Romania are such type of plains. The Danube cuts across mountain ranges and flows through the plains of Hungary and Wallachia before falling into the Black Sea. The Rhone and the Po originate in the Alps and flow into the Mediterranean Sea and the Adriatic Sea respectively. With that, my dear students, here I am concluding part 3 of lesson 7, Study of Continents Europe. I hope you all must have understood these 3 parts well. The remaining parts of the chapter will be continued after this. Part 3. Thank you and have a nice day.